Disclaimer. This video contains music and video footage I do not own. Credits at the end of the video. This video contains discussion of real-life deaths in an educational context. Viewer discretion is advised. This video is not intended for children under the age of 13, nor is my channel. The Child Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA, states that nobody under the age of 13 should have, among other things, a YouTube account. Hello boyos, girlos, and non-binary genderlos, and welcome to another Lost Media video. In our first repeat event, we're diving back into the realm of lost music, so without further ado, let's get into 12 Pieces of Lost Music Volume 2. But before we get into it, we actually have to revisit an older subject, that being All Lights Tucked on the Hairy Amp Drilling. To catch you up to speed if you haven't watched the original list, All Lights Tucked on the Hairy Amp Drilling was an experimental album by Godspeed You! Black Emperor, of which only 33 copies were made. One of the copies was owned by the record label, and another by Reddit user Casket Jack, who uploaded 2 songs from the album before stopping the archival due to potential legal trouble. For 8.5 years this is how it remained, but then on February 4th, 2022, the entire album was uploaded to 4chan's View board via Mega. A week later, the album was uploaded by the band to their official Bandcamp page, saving it from ever being lost again. In 1990, Kurt Cobain of Nirvana fame premiered a song for a local radio station in Olympia, Washington. Dubbed Opinion, the song was a diatribe against sensationalistic media, and Cobain played it the night he wrote it. The song was not recorded for the then upcoming album Nevermind and didn't surface at all until the With the Lights Out box set. With the 2015 release of Montage of Heck, 12 seconds of a studio quality demo were found. Aside from the 12 released seconds, nothing of the studio version has been released. Leland Kirby, better known by his stage name The Caretaker, is an English ambient musician who specializes in examining memory and the facets with it. He has a habit of sampling a specific choir piece nobody knows the name of. The sample, being a church choir recording from the 1960s, first appeared on the song Friends Past Reunited from the album A Stairway to the Stars. The song continued to be sampled in selected memories from the Haunted Ballroom, Deleted Scenes, Forgotten Dreams, and most famously, Everywhere at the End of Time. The song has been falsely identified as Lord Let Me Know Mine End by Maurice Green and as a recording for the Litchfield Cathedral Choir. Only about 50 to 60 copies of the song exist, given out to the choir members and the conductor. Kirby got his hands on 2 of them from a shop in the 1990s, though the rest of the copies are deemed impossible to find. The song has not been released publicly. In 2004, British pop singer Ed Sheeran created an album entitled Spinning Man, which was first mentioned in the book Ed Sheeran: A Visual Journey, in which he says, quote, "In 2004, I made my very first album, Spinning Man, named after a picture that my dad had. I burnt the CDs myself and made the covers. There were 14 songs, they were all songs that rhymed. One lyric went, I'm a typical average teen, if you know what I mean. There are probably 20 copies of Spinning Man in existence, and I have 19 of them. I don't want anyone else to get a hold of a copy. Most of the songs were about a girl called Claire. She was my first love when I was 13. It was a very innocent love, and we only ever held hands, but it lasted a fair amount of time. Then came my first devastating breakup. Looking back, it really wasn't that bad, but at the time it was soul-shattering. When she left me, I wrote a lot of songs off the back of it. My first love songs." End quote. An eBay listing for the album named the 14 tracks, 5 of which were later released on Sheeran's EP, The Orange Room, being Typical Average, Misery, Moody Ballad of Ed, Addicted, and I Love You. The other 9 tracks remain unreleased. They Might Be Giants is an American alternative rock band formed in 1982, and their self-titled first album propelled them into cult classic status. One song on the album, Rabid Child, was relatively short compared to the other songs. It was about a kid whose only form of communication was talking with truckers over CB radio. A music video for the song was recorded and featured John Flansburgh singing into the camera and grabbing onto a wall. The video contained multiple crew members in masks, and John Little wearing a red carpet hat playing the accordion. The music video was recorded in Flansburgh's apartment with a cheap camera. While the music video has not been released in full, a few seconds of it can be seen in the documentary Gigantic, A Tale of Two Johns. Its placement was the compromise between the band and producer AJ Schnack, as the original plan was to release the video as a bonus feature on the documentary, but the band didn't want that. Schnack commented on this by saying, "I promised fans that I would ask John and John about including the full piece, and I was quickly, but politely, laughed out of the room. Or I would have been if we had been in the same room." Enchanted is a 2007 romantic comedy film made by Disney following a princess named Giselle who is scheduled to marry Prince Edward, though an evil witch exiles her from Andalasia and transports her to real-life New York City, where she meets an attorney named Robert Phillip who she later falls for. Now, being a Disney movie, this film obviously has a soundtrack full of songs used in and out of the film. One song from the soundtrack, fittingly titled Enchanted, never ended up making it into the final film. The film's composer, Alan Menken, gave some insight as to the song's function, had it been in the final film. According to Menken, the song would have featured Edward and Giselle and was to be sung after they'd fallen in love. However, the song was taken out as it was to be featured after Giselle had already been sent to New York, and it wouldn't make sense if she had sung a song in New York. In the film, no New York denizens sing their own songs. While some denizens accompany songs already in play, most songs after that point are entirely disembodied voices. Menken also recalled that the song would have played over a montage montage, making it possible that the song Ever Ever After replaced Enchanted in that sequence. Director Kevin Lima later corroborated this fate of the song. A demo for the song was recorded and planned to be released with the DVD release of the film. With the March 2008 DVD release did not come Enchanted, and as such the song has never been heard to this day outside of the crew involved. Shaquille O'Neal, best known for his basketball playing and appearances in Space Jam, also had a rap career, which is commercially successful with mixed critical reviews. After taking a 3-year hiatus from music, Shaq started seeking help from other artists in 2001 with Pink, Dr. Dre, George Clinton, and many others being asked to join him. This would end up being known as Shaquille O'Neal Presents his Superfriends Volume 1. The album was set to release on September 11th, 2001, with several singles being released from the album. The singles were given to the Shaq team, a group of promotional staff tasked with distributing them to music critics to drum up hype. The album was cited as being ambitious and impressive, but Shaq's performances were deemed mediocre. The album was pushed back to an October 2nd release before being mysteriously shelved. Some of the singles for the album were leaked after it was shelved, with them being readily available on YouTube, with the rest never likely to receive an official release. One reviewer from AllMusic got to listen to the entire album, giving it a 4 out of 5 star rating, saying that the album was impressive, though he'd been forbidden from leaking any of it. Bootlegs aren't known to exist. On March 8th, 2017, a promotional copy for the album was sold on Discogs for $999, which, being a promotional copy, contained a slightly different lineup from the final album, and includes many unreleased songs. The full promo hasn't made its way online, but a 6-minute video containing samples of every track found its way onto YouTube by K-Dub. On February 19th, 2021, Lost Media Wiki user KoboChat uploaded a mega link to more songs for the album. As of now, 5 tracks are still missing, being That's Me, Atomic Dog, The One, Big Hat Club, and the cut track It Takes Two. This is not a joke or a meme, the Wiggles actually played in NASA once. For those who don't know who the Wiggles are, first of all, happy 70th birthday, Grandad. And second, the Wiggles are an Australian music group that makes silly songs for children, best known for Hot Potato, Fruit Salad, and others. In August 2004, the group was on tour in North America to promote the albums Top of the Tots and Cold Spaghetti Western. Somehow this led to them getting invited to NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. This was not the first time that they've been to NASA, having been there to film the music video for Walking on the Moon. The group communicated with Mike Fink, who was in space at the time, bringing along his 4-year-old son Chandra and 2-month-old daughter Tarali Paulina. The group performed a few songs for Fink, and the group was given a tour of the Space Center on top of that, with mission control and the astronaut training facilities also being visited. The performance was broadcast on NASA television on August 5th, 2004. No footage has resurfaced of the performance online, and what songs were played is also a mystery, with only Hot Potato being confirmed as one of the songs performed. Press photos were released from the event, and when the group was interviewed by A Current Affair for then upcoming shows for bushfire relief, Greg showed off one of the spacesuits from Walking on the Moon and mentioned the NASA visit. When promoting the event on NASA's website, one screenshot of Fink miming the cold spaghetti gesture was shown. On August 4th, 2021, Anthony Field revealed he'd be uploading the call-in performance to the group's YouTube channel as part of the ongoing unreleased, never-before-seen special series that began in late 2020. Field has stated that there's more footage that hasn't been seen or documented, though no footage of the event has circulated at all. A Reddit post made on r/music on April 4th, 2022 absolutely rocked the internet when it first came out. The post was titled, "I'm Dying. As my last mission, I'll be hunting down and saving as much music from obscurity as possible. But there's one song I want more than the rest." The OP in question was a woman with an inoperable tumor in her spine and was gifted with an estimated 6 months to a year to live. She wished to find a song that she had heard on the radio once in 2018. She had been haunted by the song and thought she might hear it again someday, but as of yet, she has not. The details of the song given were as follows. The song had a male singer and was heard on the radio station KXT Denton sometime between 9 and 11 a.m. on any day between February 9th and 14th, 2018. She only caught the tail end of the song, catching these lyrics being, "To try for anything. I couldn't stomach things. It just kept getting worse." She had tried everything to look for the song, to no avail. She was pointed to r/tip of my tongue, r/lostwave, and r/data hoarder, but none of these subreddits could help her either. When asked for the genre, the OP responded melodic punk. She suggested that she may have missed a line in the lyrics, but what she wrote down she was positive was in the song. Another Redditor found an archive of radio shows on KXT Denton, which led them to find KXT Mornings with Brad Dolbeer, which seemed to fit the timeline perfectly. Dozens of songs have been suggested and turned down, and suggestions are still pouring in as of writing this. She's reached out to KXT Denton again, as well as podcasts like Heavyweight and Reply All to hopefully bring more eyes to this mystery. This is an ongoing mystery, and if you have a song that could possibly be it, don't forward it to me. Instead, email the OP at obscurearchives@outlook.com. She also takes submissions for her archive, being things like songs from local radio shows or things from discographies that haven't been uploaded anywhere. This search is as fresh as they come, and I will be following it to the best of my ability. The original Reddit post has been taken down, but her email is still in consistent use. Any attempt is a great help. MySpace.com was the most popular social media in the mid-2000s, and while it's still available to visit online, it's mostly dormant. MySpace attracted many online musicians, with many rappers using the website due to the popularity of Soulja Boy, whose popularity was fueled by MySpace. Many other artists at the time used MySpace to boost their popularity, such as Drake, Nicki Minaj, 50 Cent, Kid Cudi, J. Cole, Waka Flocka Flame, and Tyler the Creator. Other artists that released music on the platform include Lily Allen, Adele, Calvin Harris, Skrillex, Arctic Monkeys, Panic at the Disco, Owl City, and Sean Kingston. In 2018, something big happened. A Reddit user received an email from MySpace support stating that there was a problem with any song uploaded to the platform longer than 3 years ago, further stating that the issue would be fixed with no estimate as to when. A few months later, it was announced that the files were corrupted due to server migration and that there was no way to recover the lost data. The announcement was quiet until Kickstarter CTO Andy Bio tweeted in March 2019 saying, "MySpace accidentally lost all the music uploaded from its first 12 years in a server migration, losing over 50 million songs from 14 million artists." The exact circumstances of the loss are unknown, though MySpace helps people find old photos or friends lists, but music is not included, containing the note that, if you are looking for something that is not on this list, that means the content is no longer available and cannot be retrieved. Many were skeptical of the story of how MySpace lost the music, with Bio saying that flagrant incompetence may be bad PR, but it still sounds better than "we can't be bothered with the effort and cost of migrating and hosting 50 million old MP3s. It is unknown how many, if any, music files were preserved by MySpace, as there's no way to access them from the website. In April 2019, 490,000 MP3 files from MySpace were uploaded to the Internet Archive in what is known as the MySpace Dragon Horde, which included files uploaded between 2008 and 2010 and were downloaded during a study into music networks. Their collection is bigger than a terabyte in size, and file names are written algorithmically, making it difficult to search through. The lost files, intentionally lost or not, represent what is the largest loss of music in history, with the Dragon Horde only containing 2 out of 12 years that are missing from the archive and amounts to less than 0.1% of all the music lost. While it's likely that many artists have backed up their music somewhere else, many smaller musicians and everyday people lost music and never thought to back it up, including a father that found a recording of his deceased son was lost in migration. It is impossible to determine what songs were deleted from the platform, let alone what was archived, due to the sheer scale of how many songs were lost in the process. It is unlikely any more music will surface from MySpace unless MySpace somehow finds a backup. The Pretty Things Are Going to Hell is a song released by English rock musician David Bowie, written by him and Reeves Gabriels for Bowie's 1999 album Hours. The song was originally used on the soundtrack of the film Stigmata before being issued as the second single from the album. To coincide with the single release, Bowie wanted to make a music video for the song in which he meets 4 of his past selves, played by life-size mannequin puppets, being The Man Who Saved the World, Ziggy Stardust, The Thin White Duke, and Piero. The video was directed by Dom and Nick and shot in September 1999. Bowie hired Jim Henson's Creature Shop to design the puppets, totaling 28,000 British pounds. On his website, puppeteer Rick Lyon shared photos and some insight on the project, saying, "In early September 1999, I had the pleasure of puppeteering for a David Bowie music video for a song in his latest album at the time. In the picture at the right, you can see me off the far left puppeting a full-size puppet of Mr. Bowie's Ziggy Stardust persona. He was seeing the puppet for the first time and was conferring about the length of Ziggy's hair. At the far right, with blonde hair, you can see one of the directors, Dom, who was lining up a shot of Ziggy smoking a cigarette. Just out of frame at right is John Tartaglia, who was puppeteering Ziggy's hand while I did the head and face. This video has never been released. I spoke to someone at the production house in December of 1999 and they said it had been shelved. Too bad. The video was produced by Oil Factory and the beautiful puppets were built by the Henson LA Creature Shop. The lead puppeteer was my good friend David Barclay, and the other puppeteers were the aforementioned John Tartaglia, James Godwin, and Eric Jacobson. In an online chat in October 2000, Bowie explained why he didn't release the video, saying, "It was abandoned after we found out that the puppets ended up looking like puppets. What I mean is, it didn't have the Eastern European darkness that Dom and Nick had wanted to achieve. Some of it was downright funny, and I'm sure it'll make its way into a video compilation one of these days, to be a source of endless amusement to you all and another form of Chinese torture for myself. You can probably find it on Vidster," unquote. So far, the only things that surface of the video are the clips of Bowie performing the song in a theater. Some stills of the puppet sequence taken by Kevin Mazur were shown off in magazines and easily found on Pinterest. Lyon shared 2 photos of Ziggy Stardust, and Bowie also posed with the 4 puppets for a promo picture. Despite the video's shelving, the puppets Thin White Duke and Piero later got used in the music video for Love Is Lost, promoting Bowie's album the next day. This marks the debut of the 2 puppets, with Ziggy and The Man Who Saved the World never being formally introduced. American rock band My Chemical Romance has a habit of recording more than enough material for an album and then scrapping what they don't end up using. The most mysterious of these is 9-Volt Heart. 9-Volt Heart was a song that was supposed to be released on the band's first album, I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. On the band's website in 2002, there were lyric pages for every song except for 9-Volt Heart, which was listed but had no lyric page. This led to much speculation surrounding the lost song, from it being just a cut song from the album to it being a cover of Bodies by the Smashing Pumpkins. Rumors spread that the song was played once live and then shelved for its lack of quality, but these rumors remain unsubstantiated. substantiated. 9-Volt Heart to this day remains a mystery. Before the release of the band's second album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, a series of demos were recorded, dubbed by fans as the Manhattan Demos. The demos were composed of many songs from the final album, but one was left out, even after being played live many times. The song, called Sister to Sleep, was recorded during the sessions but never ended up releasing. The song's existence was revealed by the band in a 2011 live stream, though the band doesn't know where it is. In 2013, drummer Matt Pellissier uploaded 3 15-second snippets of Sister to Sleep and said he couldn't release any more due to legal reasons. He also revealed the existence of an extremely rare EP containing the entire set of Manhattan demos, including Sister to Sleep, though this has not been located. The snippets are all that remain of Sister to Sleep. The Man with the Iron Fist is a martial arts film directed by RZA of Wu-Tang Clan fame and actor Eli Roth. The film released on November 2nd, 2012 to mixed reviews. The film contained a soundtrack with many artists including the Black Keys, Kanye West, Mabel Isaac Hayes, and the aforementioned Wu-Tang Clan. In the credits of the film, a song titled Hell Hath No Fury was listed, being written and performed by the members of My Chemical Romance. The song does not appear in the film or its soundtrack, though it still appears in the credits. No lyrics from the song are known, and the song was not released on their Greatest Hits album, May Death Never Stop You, released 2 years later. It is unknown whether the band has the song in their possession. So, we've seen 3 songs in the last parts of this segment, but My Chemical Romance also has an entire missing album. In February 2012, an announcement was made that a new studio was being built for the band's 5th album. Under the working title of MCR5, the album was intended to be more like the band's 3rd album, The Black Parade. Word on MCR5 went silent until October that year, where guitarist Frank Guerrero said the production was coming along well. The album never ended up releasing, with the band breaking up in March 2013. One song from May Death Never Stop You, entitled Fake Your Death, was speculated to be part of MCR5, but these rumors haven't been substantiated. If there was one piece of lost music that it was a crime not to cover the first time, it would be Carnival of Light. One of the most famous pieces of lost media ever, Carnival of Light was a song by the Beatles which is going to be used at the Million-Volt Light and Sound Rave on January 28th and February 4th, 1967, only about 3 weeks after the song was originally recorded. The song can be traced back to December 1966, when David Vaughan asked Paul McCartney if he'd be willing to submit a track for the rave, which was organized by Vaughan himself. McCartney agreed, and the track was recorded the following month. Recording took place during the sessions of the Beatles' 8th album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, on January 5th, 1967. After the vocal tracks for Penny Lane were taken, the band began on Carnival of Light. McCartney elaborated on the recording process in a 2008 interview where he said, "We were set up in the studio and just go in every day and record. I said to the guys, this is a bit indulgent, but would you mind giving me 10 minutes? All I want you to do is just wander around all this stuff and bang it, shout it, play it. Then we put a bit of an echo on it. It's very free." Only one take was done of the piece, which was recorded with overdubs on a 4-track tape, being given no official title at the time, being listed as Untitled before later being known as Carnival of Light. There were 4 tracks on the 4-track tape, which consisted of the following. Track 1 consisted of distorted hypnotic drum and organ sounds. Track 2 consisted of a distorted lead guitar. Track 3 consisted of the sounds of a church organ, various effects, water gargling was one, and voices, perhaps most intimidating of all, John and Paul screaming dementedly and bawling aloud random phrases like "Are you alright?" and "Barcelona." Track 4 consisted of various indescribable sound effects with heaps of echo and manic tambourine. McCartney's biographer Barry Miles ended up hearing the track and elaborated on the sound as follows. The song had no rhythm, although a beat is sometimes established for a few bars by the percussion or a rhythmic pounding piano, and had no melody, although snatches of a tune sometimes threatened to break through. The bass track consists of an organ playing bass notes and drums that was recorded in fast motion to create a slower, more droning sound when played in real time. The song's instruments make heavy use of reverb, and it contains many vocal samples from Lennon and McCartney, from audible samples such as Lennon shouting electricity to distorted gasps, coughs, and the final echo-soaked sample heard just before the song's end of McCartney asking, "Can we hear it back now?" Other instruments heard throughout the track consist of bursts of guitar feedback, gushy cinema organ, and fragments of a clinking pub piano. Miles also compared it to The Return of the Sun and the Monster Magnet from Frank Zappa's album Freak Out, which is said to be a heavy influence on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. McCartney wanted to have the song released in 1996 for the compilation record The Beatles Anthology 2, though George Harrison voted against it, saying that he didn't like avant-garde music. That same year, McCartney claimed he'd been working on a film in which he'd intended to have Carnival of Light be part of the soundtrack, although McCartney hasn't spoken about it since 2002 and the film never released, so that fell through. McCartney is still in possession of the master tapes and was still eager to release it, though it would require consent from the group's estate, being Yoko Ono, Olivia Harrison, and Ringo Starr. The most recent mention of Carnival of Light by McCartney was during an interview with Jimmy Kimmel in 2013, where he briefly described the tone of it. Many theorized that Carnival of Light would appear on the super deluxe version of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, though this never happened, and Nicholas Martin commented that while it wasn't considered for inclusion due to it not being part of the album, he expressed an interest in doing something with it in the future. That statement being at least 5 years old, I doubt it's going anywhere anytime soon. Songs for the Black Hole is an unfinished album by American rock band Weezer. The album was meant to be the successor to the Blue Album. The concept for the album, according to lead vocalist Rivers Cuomo, was, there's this crew, 3 guys and 2 girls in a mechanoid, that are on this mission in space to rescue somebody or something. The whole thing was really an analogy for taking off, going out on the road and up the charts with the rock band, which is what was happening to me at the time I was writing this and feeling like I was lost in space. There were 6 characters, being Jonas, Laurel, Maria, Wuan, Dondo, and M1. During Rivers' stint at Harvard, he was inspired to change the vibe of songs from the Black Hole from the space rock opera theme to a Madame Butterfly influenced vibe of Pinkerton, the album that Songs from the Black Hole eventually turned into. Pinkerton released on September 24th, 1996, including 4 songs that preceded Songs from the Black Hole that had been repurposed for the album, being Tired of Sex, Get You, No Other One, and Why Bother. Other leftover songs, Devotion, Waiting on You, and I Just Threw Out the Love of My Dreams, were later released as B-sides for Pinkerton singles El Scorcho and The Good Life. When asked about why the album was cancelled, Cuomo responded ROTR, referencing former bassist Matt Sharp's 1995 album The Return of the Rentals, adding that it was a lame idea to him. In 2002, a few of the demos from Songs of the Black Hole were leaked online, being Blast Off, Oh No, This Is Not For Me, Come to My Pod, the demo version of Tired of Sex, and Long Time Sunshine. It was at this point that Cuomo was frequently asked about demos from the album, which he said he couldn't release them due to contractual obligations. The demo for You Won't Be With Me Tonight was released on the 2003 compilation Buddyhead Presents Gimme Skelter. A small snippet of the band practicing Superfriend was released on video capture device in 2004. Blast Off was eventually played live on August 19, 2011 at the WAMU Theater in Seattle, Washington. Starting on April 30th, 2006, sheet music and lyrics for a variety of songs were released over Cuomo's Myspace page. Later, on October 15, 2007, Cuomo announced that he had gotten permission from Geffen Records to release demos made as far back as 1992. This culminated in Cuomo releasing Alone, the home recordings of Rivers Cuomo on December 18, 2007. The album contained 5 unreleased demos, being Long Time Sunshine, Blast Off, Who You Callin' Beach, Dude We're Finally Landing, and Superfriend. The rest of the lost demos were released on Alone 2, the home recordings of Rivers Cuomo, and Alone 3, the Pinkerton Years, making the entire album found. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any other pieces of lost media you'd like to see me talk about, let me know. Anyway, I gotta make a music video in my crappy apartment, so I'll see you next time. Goodbye.